would be Rabbi Shmuel Jakobovits. Since time is tight, I'll get straight to the presentation that I prepared. The topic that we are discussing relates to the most fundamental parts of our existence, not only the ultra-Orthodox society, but we, the entire Jewish nation. There are, of course, different sociological, economical, and political levels that we often discuss, but at the root of the issue, the topic is ideology, is clearly ideology. The fact that crime and distortion is committed by the court when it attempts to force arrangements on the population. We have heard that the law has to be enforced as the ruler claims, who is of course concerned only with our well-being. The ideological aspects have not been presented at all in your discussions and in your presentations. And in order for you to understand this point, you must also understand why I, unlike the people who spoke before me, the name of the session, integrating the ultra-Orthodox in Israeli society, the title of the session terrifies me. 10 minutes is a very short amount of time to discuss this topic, both clearly and with pathos, both historically and in relation to the present. It is true that it is important to the state of Israel that is committed to protecting the existence of the Jewish people, and even to refer to the leftist attempt to change the definition of this nation and make it a nation like any other nation, which, by the way, led the majority of Israel's youth to a very terrifying situation of emptiness. The conclusive rejection of ultra-Orthodox leadership based on its attempt to swallow up our community, swallow our society into what is called the Israeli society. And a personal suggestion is, how can a resolution of equality in the state of Israel, how can it be achieved in the current situation of rifts? So a little bit of history for a purpose of perspectives. Yair Lapid said at his famous speech at the ultra-Orthodox university campus in Kiryat Ono several months before he became a politician. He said that for years there has been an ongoing conflict in the Jewish nation about its very identity, especially in the state of Israel. And he is completely correct. It is true that the powerful battle between the ideology that is loyal to values of Jewish law and the Torah, as it has been handed down from generation to generation, and the secular European ideology that is the rebellious ideology that penetrated our society and is what built our state. This is the source of the conflict between us. These dangerous clashes are becoming more and more fierce as both sides become powerful and stronger after the Holocaust, and as the balance between those who are loyal to Jewish law and the secular elite, as they change, the balance has changed towards the former, to empower the their hold on the people that live in the state of Israel, and maybe to finally resolve the conflict. Those who believe in secular ideology attempt now to enforce power, and I will use your terms, to integrate the ultra-Orthodox community in Israeli society, as if the secular society is the hegemony in the state of Israel and will do us a favor and take care of us. But we have a very, very long memory, and we know that from the perspective of eternity, the hegemony, the normative hegemony of the eternal nation is that is loyal to Jewish tradition, and they know that the utmost priority of commitment to Jewish law will guarantee our future. Above and beyond the attempts to protect the security and the sustainability of the state of Israel, the Torah and Jewish law must prosper in Israeli society. We, as the ultra-Orthodox society, will not abandon our lifelong mission of commitment to the Jewish Torah. We are completely committed with all of our heart and our entire soul. And now I would like to proceed to my proposal and to be brief. I would like to present only four slides out of the presentation. I would like to proceed by saying that the presentation is designed based on the current situation, meaning that we do not now have the power to enforce religion within the Israeli government. We cannot enforce religious law on those who do not seek it, and not secular law on those who are not interested. The ideological issues must be resolved socially, not politically, and not through force. The solution that I propose is peace among the two parties among the Jewish nation. Peace can be achieved only if we first acknowledge all of the truth, until we understand the truth about the conflict. I would like to propose to begin. Can we go back to the previous slide, please? The doctrine of coexistence in the Jewish nation. The first step is to define a doctrine that will define coexistence within the Jewish nation. It will have three fundamental points: the acknowledgement of two large populations in the Jewish nation. This is one that is subordinate completely to the Torah, and the second that is defined by liberalism and pluralism. The second is the acknowledgement of the willingness of the two populations to form a united nation despite their ideological differences. And the third is a mutual agreement between the two populations that ideology, beliefs, and way of life cannot be forced upon the nation by the power of the state. The conclusion is that the Jewish nation has to be comprised of two communities, both of equal standing. Two communities will be established within the state of Israel. one based on Torah law, and the other will be pluralist. And in parentheses, there can be additional communities such as Muslim, Catholic, and others can be defined. Each community will receive the authority and the responsibility to administrate all issues that relate to it, all social issues that relate to it. There will be an equal authority that will handle any conflicts that arise. The final slide. There's another slide about the Torah the rationale of the Torah law, but I would like to read only the liberal rationale. We remove issues of religious coercion, especially future fear of such coercion in the future. Especially considering the fact that the number will increase over the years, especially in the state of Israel. The proposal neutralizes moral and sociological claims against ideological groups, what is known as religious discrimination in the state of Israel. The proposal requires the ultra-Orthodox population to support themselves and support those who study the Torah independently, and the Israelis who believe in pluralism will define Judaism as they see fit, and will cope with and will handle it without any ultra-Orthodox political or coercional intervention. The non-Orthodox Jews abroad will also be free of the outcome of the Orthodox monopoly in the state of Israel, quote unquote. This will also increase the opportunity for increasing the connection between the two groups without fear of coercion or power or overtaking.